This week in church, we heard the story of David and Goliath and learnt some lessons from that story. And I just want to use that as Bible study today. Look at a few quick points. Something interesting that I heard a few years ago that I never saw pointed out. But in case you don't know the story, one of the enemies of Israel, the Philistines, had gathered in their armies to battle, ready to come against them. And they didn't just make a charge, they sent out the champion. This man here, verse 4, out of the Philistines, named Goliath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. He was over 9 feet tall, a huge man. And he was very strong, had all this armour. And he stood and cried, verse 8, unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. And it goes down, and he defies the armies, and he speaks against God. And Saul heard the words, and everyone was greatly afraid, and Saul. And then it goes through. David gets sent down to take some bread and other things to his brothers and some gifts to the captains of his brothers. And this Philistine kept going for 40 days. 40 days, and in that time, not one man got together the courage needed to say, I'm going to go fight for my country. And Saul ends up offering a reward. Here, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. If there was a man that would come and fight Goliath and kill him, Saul was going to give him this bounty. And still yet, after 40 days, 40 nights, Goliath spoke, no one objected. And then David comes and listens and hears Goliath speaking when he's bringing the food to his brothers who are in the army, and says, what's going on? Why has no one taken on this Philistine? This is what David says, verse 26. David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, What shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? And that was pointed out in the sermon. Thinking about us, what can we learn from this story? We serve the living God. Why are we afraid of what people in the world think about us? We serve the living God. Why are we afraid of what people can do to us? So often we cower and we compromise to the world, to the Goliaths in our lives. Why? We serve the living God. The Bible says in Proverbs, I've just thought about this now, but we'll just quickly go there. Proverbs 28 verse 1, that the righteous are bold as a lion. The righteous are bold as a lion. That's what David was. He was a righteous man. He cared about the Lord. He loved the Lord. David's brothers tell him off, saying, hey, you just came down to see the battle. What battle? There was no battle going on. You're just being naughty. And I love what David says here. David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? Is there not a cause? There is. There's a God to fight for and to give our lives for. And anyway, it goes on. We know the story of David and Goliath. David ends up fighting him. But you know who should have fought him? This man was huge. And what did Goliath say? If you got a man, if he be able. The most able-bodied man to fight Goliath in Israel was Saul himself, and yet he was a coward. That's why God didn't take much pleasure in his life. Very quickly, we'll finish up. 1 Samuel 10:23. Only a couple of chapters back. Look at about Saul when he stood among all the people. Focus. 1 Samuel 10:23. And they ran and fetched him thence, and when he stood, this is Saul, among the people, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upward. Saul was a big man, and he was still a strong man. So he should have been up there fighting for Goliath, whether he died or not. He should have been fighting Goliath and leading his people, because he was able. He was the most able, yet he wasn't. So there'll be a fight in your lives. There'll be a Saul, there'll be a Goliath, there'll be enemies. Remember who you serve. You serve the living God. There's a cause. It's for his honour that you live. Don't compromise to the world. Make sure you're serving God first. And the world, your friends, your family, everything else comes second. Because they're not a cause. All right, just a little Bible study. God bless you. Have a good day.